Hello traders, Gary Wagner here just before 1 o'clock in Honolulu, 6 o'clock in New York. It is Wednesday, 7th day of March, 2018, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Downside pressure in the precious metals markets with gold trading off $8.90 at $1326.30 and silver off by 27 cents at $16.50. Dollar fractionally unchanged on the day, 89.58, thereby not giving gold or silver tailwinds or headwinds. Today's downside move was all based upon selling. Dow Jones Industrial Average traded about 300 points lower during the day and had a dynamic recovery, only closing off about 82 points. The NASDAQ actually closed in positive territory. The same cannot be said for Bitcoin futures, breaking below 10,000, 99.70 and 99.85 at the CBOE and CME. Those Bitcoin futures contracts both down about $500 on the day. The best way to characterize the financial markets today was extreme volatility and specifically for gold, strong downside pressure. April futures closing off by about $9 at $1326.20. What was interesting today is just like we saw on Monday's trading activity, although the market traded to a higher high than the previous day and a higher low, we still had prices close lower on the day. Today, of course, much more dramatic than what we saw on Monday's trading activity. This in response to economic data that came out with the Federal Reserve's Beige book along with ADP's private sector's jobs report. Those seem to cancel out any positive upside momentum that gold had immediately following the announcement that Gary Cohen had resigned from the current administration as chief economic advisor and the potential for tariffs to be imposed as early as the next week and the potential for a trade war that could in fact follow that implementation. The net result of today's trading activity erased much of the gains witnessed yesterday. We did enter a long position yesterday, and quite honestly, I did not expect to see this kind of downside pressure today. However, we have closed just at the 50-day moving average, coupled with the fact that when we look at trading activity over the last 5 trading days, we can still see this market rising with a series of higher highs on a consistent basis as well as higher lows, clearly indicates the potential for a recovery and higher pricing over the next week. And traders, the key to where gold will head over the next week or so has got to be intrinsically tied to US dollar strength or weakness. And when we look at the data from recent activity in the dollar index, we can clearly see that over the last 5 trading days, the overall characteristics, a lower pricing with consistently lower lows and lower highs. I would look for continued downside pressure in the dollar. And as I said, that will be the key as to whether or not gold prices recover. And traders, whereas gold prices declined by approximately 0.7% today, silver declined 1.66%, losing almost 28 cents on the day, closing at $16.50. And the fact that silver had a much greater drawdown than gold has resulted in a widening of the gold-silver ratio, now set at 80.3. My sense is that will continue to widen and challenge some recent highs that came in approximately at 83. Historically speaking, the current ratio is at these highs achieved in 2003, above the highs achieved in 2008, and potentially challenging the highest point the gold-silver ratio has been over the last 20 years, this occurring in 2016. And traders, lastly, I do want to take a look at Bitcoin futures. which traded under substantial pressure today, losing approximately 7% on the day, a net decline of about $750, and that is after trading to a low of 93.70, which is roughly $100 above the 23% retracement at 92.70. If you recall from yesterday's show, we talked about the fact that we had, on a technical basis, some real resistance at 1150. That was based on these two tops. And if we continue to see downside pressure in Bitcoin futures challenging these current lows at 92.70, we could see Bitcoin go back to approximately 8,000. Traders, over the next couple of days, we've got some significant events that should unfold and definitely affect the market. It has been announced that Trump might go ahead and actually implement his trade policies and tariffs, thereby creating a trade war as early as tomorrow. And then, of course, on Friday, we have the jobs report. We could see continued fireworks in this market, but I am looking for the precious metals to catch some tailwinds from these events and begin to move higher. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.